Strategist Maura Gillespie and Pete Seat. We also, I believe, have Priscilla Alvarez with us in Washington, D.C. that we can go to as well. Maura, let's start first with you. I thought it was interesting. He said Kamala's name right, and it's been a long time since he's been able to do that. Kamala Harris, the vice president. He said there's 19 ways to say it, although I think we can all agree all of our names only have one pronunciation that our parents gave us. What do you make of their continued evolution on trying to message against the vice president, who is now at the top of the ticket?
Truly, when I look at this and hearing all the tangents that he just went on in his opening remarks that were an hour late, I'll point out, to me, it just sounds like he's really rattled by Kamala Harris and by the situation that he's now presented with, because a few weeks ago, he thought he had this in the bag. And this past week, he has really seemed to kind of go off on the deep end with a lot of things. And he's pulling out the 2016 Donald Trump that is going for personal and petty and really juvenile attacks that are a big turnoff to a majority of the country. But yet his, people are echoing it, and J.D. Vance is echoing it. People at this rally have been echoing it today before he got on stage. To me, it just really does seem as though he is woefully unprepared to go after the policy issues because he's not comfortable doing that. And so for him, his comfort zone is to be a bully and to make juvenile comments. And to me, I think that's a disservice to the people he's supposed to be out there supporting and defending and standing up for in policy issues. He's not talking policy.
And Pete wasn't this over, not giving it so much oxygen, not really overreacting to it, trying to bring the focus back to the race. Do you think this is the right strategy?
She has a short time to really show herself to the American people. And I do think that not playing or stooping low to what Donald Trump is doing here as he sort of navigates how he's going to handle, the debate cycle and the next few months of the election. Yeah, I mean, she needs to focus on how to, one, address her record, because that is going to be once Republicans actually get back to policy issues, that will be a problem for her and a weakness for her. But she still has to focus on a VP pick and then solidify the ticket and campaign as the names that she's going to be on the ticket with. So yes, I think ignoring some of the stuff that Trump is saying serves her because she's rising above it. But I also think that both candidates need to be looking at how to appeal to the moderate voters that are undecided on both tickets and how to reach them. And for Republicans, I'll say the Big Tent party is supposed to be more inviting and more encompassing. And unfortunately, we're not seeing that. It's really taken a drastic shift since the convention, where it was this idea of unity. And I think that Kamala Harris has an opportunity to target where Donald Trump has largely abandoned by recently today making comments saying that he's going to purge the party of those who don't support him, the Republican leader. So I think that there's an opportunity there to capitalize. And I think they need to be strategic in how they do that. You can't obviously respond to every single thing that Donald Trump says. That'd be a full-time job. I know when he was president, it was really hard to do that with his outlandish tweets and things of that nature. But for Kamala Harris's team, they should be strategic in pointing out some of the things that he does say and how best they can capitalize on it.
And then, Pete, just lastly before we go, hearing the former president essentially praise Putin, congratulate him on the prisoner swap, really criticize what was, a triumph in getting these Americans home, and really what was like an encapsulation of President Biden's view of how foreign relations and work with your allies should work versus Trump's view, which is a very, very different approach. But what do you think about how he is characterizing this prisoner swap that we saw this week?
He's certainly trying to politicize it, and I think that is a mistake. The presidency is about weighing pros and cons and sometimes choosing from a menu of all bad options. This prisoner swap was a victory for the American presidency, for the institution of the presidency, for multilateral alliances, for diplomacy, all the things that we should stand for the values of America. We are the only country on earth that could bring six other countries together to make this historic agreement possible and to bring Americans home. We should all be celebrating that.
All right, Priscilla Alvarez, Maura Gillespie, Pete Seat, my thanks to all of you. Have a great Saturday.